What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing something that was a smash hit on F1 2016, the Survive series. Basically, if you're new, this is the game mode where we take everyone in a public lobby, we turn off all of the assists, and we make the damage as realistic as possible so that we have as little finishes in this race as possible. So we're going to go to the Italian Grand Prix since it was just the race yesterday, and we're going to jump in the Ferrari F2004. This car, if you don't know, is an absolute monster. So here we go, 5 red lights, and we are underway for the Italian Grand Prix. It is so hard to manage the traction off the line, and a lot of people get caught napping already. As we range into turn 1, we've lost 3, 4, 5 cars. Make that 6, as that guy went absolutely flying, cartwheeling through the air, and he almost landed on top of us. As we go through turn 1, we've lost, what, 6 people already, and that is only going to increase as people miss their braking zones, they cut the chicane, strict corner cutting rules are on as well, so there's just as much chance of you getting disqualified in this race if you cut too many corners, so I'll have to watch out for that. But here's a replay of the start. This car just, even though it had traction control back in the day with no assists on F1 2017, the wheel spin is so hard to manage, and a few people not even taking off from the start line. But here you can see one of the Ferraris going slow up ahead. Another guy was, well, fell victim to that, running into the back of him. Someone else on the left-hand side lost a wheel and then flicked up into the air and was only a few centimeters away from landing on top of us. Another Ferrari was gone, and yeah, that was just how quickly we went down from a full grid to just 14 now, and we find ourselves in P6 after just a few corners in this race. It's quite mad. We started in like 17th place, and now we're looking at potentially a top 5 as we just continue to go through. Really, the first lap is all about survival. Just got to stay away from people as much as you can. Just be conservative and protect your front wing at all costs. Generally, with the damage model on F1 2017, or just the F1 games in general, your rear end is more sturdy than the front end. And it's much easier to lose the front wheels than the rear wheels, so just be cautious on the first lap and you should survive. But yeah, that is the point, survival. It's easier said than done. It's so easy to get caught up in someone else's accident, and thankfully enough, we don't even have any damage at all. So yeah, we're just looking to move forward in this Grand Prix now as we go up the inside of Anth there, and we move into 4th place, down to 11 runners. So we now have lost half the grid. More than half the grid, as we're now down to 9 runners, just a lap and a half into this race. There's another guy who was just stationary off the road there. That moves us onto the podium. That is mad. And now we're setting fastest sectors of the Grand Prix as we chase down Apex 97 for 2nd place. The guy in the lead as well is Harry Ryan. If you subscribe to the channel for a while, you'll know I race him in my league racing series, which will be starting up in a few weeks, so I'm massively excited for that. But back to this battle though, and this guy looks fairly competent. He's actually keeping it on the road, as opposed to everyone else who's seen on the track so far. This was bound to happen. We were bound to run into 1 or 2 people who could actually drive with no assists, and now it's down to us to overtake him. It looks like he's actually stretched out a bit of a gap at this stage, so we're just going to have to push that a little bit harder and risk spinning out ourselves in order to catch him. This car is really unstable, especially at high speed, and then the throttle application, just you have to be so cautious and so delicate, otherwise you lose the back end. Even though back in the day this car, I believe, had traction control, but either way, it doesn't feel like it has traction control. It is a real monster with his V10 Ferrari strapped onto the back of it. But Apex there, he doesn't find the apex of the exit of the Parabolica curve, and we fly right past him. Unfortunately, was it during a yellow flag local caution, so we had to let him go back through again as we go back up the inside into turn 1. Contact was made there as I locked the inside fronts, and unfortunately I cannoned straight into his side pod and lost a bit of my front wing. So that's definitely going to make things harder for us in these last couple of laps. We're running side by side now on the run into the 2nd chicane, and looks like we might potentially get him up the inside. Very, very hard to avoid locking up, but we cut the chicane there, and now he's going back up the inside into the first Lesmo, and he's got me back. Who would have thought we'd actually be battling in a Survive episode? This is a rarity, and yeah, I'm really savouring this battle at the moment. Apex misses the Apex once again on the exit of the second Lesmo, and now we're going to see if we can fly right past him in the slipstream. Unfortunately, we're running with the default setup, and we have identical straight line speed, so it's a bit of a stalemate at this stage, just waiting for him to make a mistake as we go through the exit of the Ascari chicane. We get a much better exit, much more flying run, and we're going to go round the outside into Parabolica, the final corner here, and hopefully we can make this stick as we go later under brakes and just skating the car through the final corner. You guys have no idea how on edge this was. Just trying to keep it on the track and try and drive as fast as what I possibly could at the same time. But we managed to hold on to the position. Apex cuts through the Apex that time and possibly gets himself a corner cutting penalty. I believe he actually crashed out just a few corners ago, so that was quite unfortunate on his part. But as we go through the final corner, Harry Ryan, Mr. Consistency, wins the Italian Grand Prix, and we come home in a very respectable second place. There was actually a close call here just before we crossed the finish line. The guy crashed in the pit lane, got his car reset, and then we almost went straight into the back of him just before finishing that race. So if we were any further to the left, we would not have survived that race. I don't think that car was ghosting. But there we go. That has been Survive Monza. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And see plenty more F1 2017 videos. If you want to get involved in my online lobbies, then follow me on Twitter. I'll always announce when I'm going to go race with you guys. So keep up to date with that. And I'll have a few more online videos coming your way in the next few days. I did an open lobby on the weekend, so we had some pretty crazy races, that's for sure. But if you want to see more Survive videos, let me know what track we should do, any car combinations. Are there any more classic cars that are just an absolute handful to drive? Let me know, and we will get that going for you guys. But that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Career mode should be out later today as well, so stay tuned for that. And until the next one, guys, I'll see you next time.